From Dictatorship to Democracy, a conceptual framework for liberation by Gene Sharp. The methods of nonviolent action. The methods of nonviolent protest and persuasion. Formal statements, public speeches, letters of opposition or support, declarations by organizations and institutions, signed public statements, declarations of indictment and intention, group or mass petition, communications with a wider audience, slogans, caricatures and symbols, banners, posters and displayed communications, newspapers and journals, records, radio, television, skywriting and earth writing, group presentations, group representations, disputations, mock awards, group lobbying, picketing, mock elections, symbolic and public acts, wearing of symbols, prayer and worship, delivering symbolic objects, protest disrobings, destruction of own property, symbolic lights, displays of portraits, paint as protest, new signs and names, symbolic sounds, symbolic reclamations, rude gestures, pressures on individuals, haunting officials, taunting officials, fraternization, vigils, drama and music, humor, skits and prank, performance of plays and music, singing, processions, marches, parades, religious processions, pilgrimage, motorcades, honoring the dead, political mourning, mock funerals, demonstrative funerals, homage of burial places, public assemblies, assemblies of protest or support, protest meetings, teachings, withdrawal and renunciation, walkouts, silence, renouncing honors, turning one's back. The methods of social non-cooperation. Ostracism of persons, social boycott, selective social boycott, lysistratic non-action, excommunication, interdict. Non-cooperation with social events, customs, and institutions, suspensions of social and sports activities, boycott of social affairs, student strike, social disobedience, withdrawal from social institutions, withdrawal from social systems, stay at home, total personnel non-cooperation, flight of workers, sanctuary, collective disappearance, protest immigration, parentheses, hijrat. The methods of economic non-cooperation. Economic boycotts, actions by consumers, consumers boycott, non-consumption of boycotted goods, policy of austerity, rent withholding, refusal to rent, national consumers boycott, international consumers boycott. Action by workers and producers, workmen's boycott, producers boycott. Action by middleman, suppliers and handlers boycott. Action by owners and management, traders boycott, refusal to let or sell property, lockout, refusal of industrial assistance, merchants general strike, withdrawal of bank deposits, refusal to pay fees, dues and assessments, refusal to pay debts or interest, severance of funds and credit, revenue refusal, refusal of a government's money, action by governments, domestic embargo, blacklisting of traders, international sellers embargo, international buyers embargo, international trade embargo. The methods of economic non-cooperation, the strike, symbolic strikes, protest strike, quickie walkout, lightning strike, agricultural strikes, peasant strike, farm workers strike, strikes by special groups, refusal of impressed labor, prisoners strike, craft strike, professional strike, ordinary industrial strikes, establishment strike, industry strike, sympathetic strike, restricted strikes, detailed strikes, bumper strike, slowdown strike, working to rule strike, reporting sick in, strike by resignation, limited strike, selective strike, multi-industry strikes, generalized strike, generalized strike, general strike, Combination of strikes and economic closures. Economic shutdown, hartal. The methods of political non-cooperation. Rejection of authority. Withholding or withdrawal of allegiance. Refusal of public support. Literature and speeches advocating resistance. Citizens' non-cooperation with government. Boycott of legislative bodies. Boycott of elections. Boycott of government employment and positions. Boycott of government departments, agencies, and other bodies. Withdrawal from government educational institutions. Boycott of government-supported organization. Refusal of assistance to enforce agents. Removal of own signs and place marks. Refusal to dissolve existing institutions. Citizens' alternatives to obedience. Reluctant and slow compliance. Non-obedience in absence of direct supervision. Popular non-obedience. Disguised disobedience. Refusal of an assemblage or meeting to disperse. Sit down. Non-cooperation with conscription and deportation. Hiding, escape, and false identities. Civil disobedience of illegitimate laws. Action by government personnel. Selective refusal of assistance by government aides. Blocking of lines of command and information. Stalling and obstruction. General administrative non-cooperation. Judicial non-cooperation enforcement agents. Mutiny. Domestic governmental action. Quasi-legal evasions and delays. Non-cooperation by constituent governmental units. International governmental action. Changes in diplomatic and other representation. Delay and cancellation of diplomatic events. Withholding of diplomatic recognition. Severance of diplomatic relations. Withdrawal from international organizations. Refusal of membership in international bodies. Expulsion from international organizations. The methods of non-violent intervention. Psychological intervention. Self-exposure to the elements. The fast. A. Fast of moral pressure. B. Hunger strike. C. Setiographic fast. Reverse trial, non-violent harassment. Physical intervention. Sit-ins, stand-ins, ride-ins, wade-ins, mill-ins, pray-in, non-violent raids, non-violent air raids, non-violent invasion, non-violent interjection, non-violent obstruction, non-violent occupation. Social intervention. Establishing new social patterns, overloading of facilities, stall-in, speak-in, guerrilla theater, alternative social institutions, alternative communication system. Economic intervention. Reverse strike, stay in strike, non-violent land seizure, politically motivated counterfeiting, preclusive purchasing, seizure of assets, dumping, selective patronage, alternative markets, alternative transportation systems, alternative economic institutions. Political intervention. Overloading of administrative systems, disclosing identities of secret agents, seeking imprisonment, civil disobedience of neutral laws, work on without collaboration, dual sovereignty, and parallel government.